Welcome back to Chris Veve Journey. Today we will take a look at the Amazing Spider-Man 42 issue being released on Veve. So, I'm just doing a break from watching the Marvel live stream. They live streaming from New York Comic Con. It's amazing. We just saw Adam Kuber draw something. He's the one that has the 101 artist proof on Veve. So that was pretty interesting. Also, we just saw Reese doing a small interview. Sadly, in the chat there were a lot of NFT haters again, but ultimately I don't think these are even customers. I don't feel like these people are actually buying anything, so you have to leave them behind. So but enough about them. Let's get back to our NFTs and let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man and who is Mary Jane. So here we are with the Amazing Spider-Man 42 drop details. We talked shortly about it. It's a 10k edition, super limited drop. I'm so happy we don't get any extreme limited drops. 10k editions is bad enough. So yeah, I'm curious to see if you catch one in the drop. Let me know. Like, hit me in the comments. Let me know. Yeah, I was lucky. I got one of those 10,000 editions. I'm pretty curious to see if I get one. Usually I never get those, but there's currently so few people trying to get the drops at all. We just saw it with the Daredevil today. It didn't even sell 2k at this point. So interesting to see what's happening tomorrow. I'm definitely trying to get this drop. I'm going to, yeah, I'm totally into it. I'm buying at least one if I am able to, and yeah, happy to see if it works out this time. Yeah, it's Amazing Spider-Man 42. It's the first meeting of Mary Jane Watson and Peter Parker with Spider-Man, and at one point they were married and she was Mary Jane Parker Watson. I guess that was the full name. So for someone like me in my age, this is an important comic. For us, we kind of know Peter Parker to be married to Mary Jane. Like, that was the couple in the 90s. That was that thing. It was going on for a lot of years. But currently that's not the case, and there was a controversial storyline where ultimately Peter Parker made a deal with the devil, and yeah, he didn't get together with Mary Jane. That was a new setup. They wanted to have him as a character on his own again to revitalize the character, whatever. Yeah, some people liked it, a lot of people didn't like it. So and that's why I find it hard to pinpoint how excited people will be about this comic book. If this wouldn't have been returned, like if there were still a couple, I think this would be a much more valuable comic. A lot of more people would like to have it, but since that is not the case, and I mean, they're always trying to get in that direction, and I think ultimately they will be back together, but they haven't been together for quite a time now, a lot of years already. So that's a tough thing. Also, this is not the first appearance of Mary Jane. She had her first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man 25, which was a cameo appearance, but people value that comic book a little bit more. I guess it's more scarce. It has a full yellow cover, so I wouldn't wonder that if that is harder to have in high quality, and that's what makes the price difference. I'm not sure about that, but it's actually a little bit more expensive. On the other hand, I'm happy we're getting this comic. I think this panel in the comic, Face a Tiger, you just hit the jackpot, is so iconic. Like, this has been redone so many times. It's really, this is something else. This is special, and yeah, I'd rather have that than her cameo appearance, where you can't even see her face in the cameo appearance. It's even obstructed. So we have the regular cover. That's the one everyone knows. by, what's his name? Oh, I forgot the name of the artist. Not the junior, but the senior. John Romita Senior. So yeah, so it's a Stanley story, art by John Romita Senior. I really like John Romita Senior. I'm not a fan of John Romita Junior. So then we have the uncommon, which is again just a black and white variant, which is really tough on this book because the bottom part is black and white anyway. So what? Then we have Veve exclusive variant. This done by Sergio Davila, Sean Parsons, and CC De La Cruz. So I guess Sergio Davila has done the pencils, then Sean Parsons arguably has done the inks, and CC De La Cruz the colors. I'm not a big fan of this image, honestly. It just resembles the one we know from the panel, which isn't the worst idea. It's interesting, it has another angle, all fine, but yeah, just not a fan, like, to be honest, not the biggest fan. So I'm not looking for this one. So again, for this comic, like most of the time, it's either common or secret rare for me. Yeah, let's see. I'm interested to see if this is going to be a thing tomorrow when the drop hits. About the comic book itself, the current value. So it's not super expensive, and this is kind of weird. I would have expected to be a little bit more expensive. So there's like 12 9.8 on the CGC census. That's not much, but then you have already 32 9.6s, and if you go down to 9.0, you have 138 on the census, and if you go down to like 8.0, you have another 157. So there's quite a bunch of books available, but like I said, not super expensive. So you can get a 5.5 for 200 bucks, 8.5. You can get an 8.5. That's pretty good. 8.5 for a book that is from this age for $496. That's the last one that sold. $496. 225.5. No, that's the wrong one. The 6.5 for 400 even. So 9.0 that sold for above 1k, right? And I saw a high sale of around 14,000 for 9.8, which I couldn't track down what it was exactly. So I don't know if it was a regular 9.8 or if it was maybe signed by Stan Lee. I have no idea. But I believe with just a few on the census, I can believe that 9.8 would get this price. 14k seems reasonable in this range. So not the most expensive comic, but also not a cheap comic, and it has a lot of value for fans. Like, this is a comic I want to have, right? That's the thing for me. Like, if I look at it, okay, it's a comic book I want to have. I mean, there was still arguably the Amazing Spider-Man 25, which is a little bit more expensive. Like, the 4.5 is already at 300. Let me just check sold ones. I was on the wrong page here, and eBay is acting up. So is there yeah, so a 0.5, so that is really low quality, sold for $100. So you can get a 5.5 for 200 to maybe 300 bucks from the 42, and the 25 went $100 for a 0.5 already. Yeah, that's quite a bit. Even the 8.5, which you can get for 500 bucks for the 42, you can get the 25. You have to pay 1100, 1200 even. So that's quite the difference. So the other one is more valuable, but still I would also say this is more interesting. I would still rather buy this one than the first cameo appearance, even though that is cool, but this panel is really something else. So I totally agree with that. Yeah, that's all the infos. That's all there is to speak about so far. Around 10 minutes. That's a good time. I'm happy I made it. I was able to do a short video. So Let me know if you're hitting the drop, if you already were in the drop, what did you get? And of course, leave a like and leave a follow, would be much appreciated. Hope to see you guys again soon. Bye bye.